Welcome. Today we will be interviewing Mama Shoshana. Mama Shoshana is a world-renowned priestess, Mambo, spiritual healer. Welcome. Thank you for being with us. I'd love to hear you talk about ego. I've been hearing this word flying around when people talk about spiritual progression, and what is ego?
So for us, the ego is the development of everything that you've cultivated from the time you were born till the current, whatever, however old you are. So we're not afraid of the ego. We love the ego. We embrace the ego. We allow the ego to do what it is meant to do, which is to be a safety check. Your ego is your checks and your balances. It helps you know when you're doing something that is in alignment with society, in alignment with your beliefs and your patterns. Now, there's a limit to which you can healthily allow your ego to dominate your beliefs. And so for us as spiritual workers, we're not afraid of the ego. We like to embrace the ego, but we also need to work above and beyond the ego. And that is where spiritual work comes in, because you have yourself, you have your personality, you have your identity, and for us, you also have your guides, your spirits, the forces that be that have existed prior to your current incarnation, and they will exist after your current incarnation. So who you are is a part, just a little part, like a little seed of important essence that is incorporated into many, many, many other parts of yourself. When we're working with other spiritual beliefs and other spiritual paths, a lot of times people try to suppress the ego or dismantle the ego, but that's impossible. The ego is strong. We like to think of it as a seed, something that's very strong that we can use to cultivate greater gifts.
Nice. Now, when you talk about kind of the many, many parts, it reminds me of Carl Jung. He talks about parts or archetypes, let's say, of who we are.
Yeah.
How might that relate to this tradition?
I love Carl Jung. I love Jungian philosophy. I love how he relates to the archetypes. However, in our work, our mysterios, our spirits, our saints, the Loa, are not archetypical. They are not archetypes. An archetype is a representation of something that is greater than the self, a representation of something that's greater than the ego. The archetype is something that dominates the ego. It's something that's broader or bigger. And you can think of the Loa and the mysteries as an archetype, but they're not an archetype. An archetype is a word that is typed into a book, that is stapled into a static energy. A mystery is a fluid force that flows through the universe, that has power behind it, a personality and a real essence to it that dominates all things, that allows us to expand and to grow. And in modern philosophy, you can approach this work as archetypical, but you'd be missing the entire point, which is the freedom of your spirit, the release of the ego, and the development of the soul. Painting a picture, understanding a deity, reading about the divine, reading about a goddess, understanding her story, understanding the story of a Loa is not going to connect you with the Loa. Having a true experience where the energy and the current comes through you and you experience the presence of a spirit in the room with you and the presence of something greater in your life is like the difference between looking at a photograph of the sunset and then actually really experiencing a beautiful sunset with the colors of red and fuchsia and pink and blue over the ocean with a lightning storm. You're going to feel it in a completely different way, and it's awe-inspiring. These things in nature, they exist above and beyond us, and the whole concept of archetypes are things that exist in little type letters in books.
So when you talk about really feeling the mysteries, how does that happen in the tradition?
Really easy. How you feel a mystery is by connecting with them, doing the work that we give people to do to connect with a mystery. The whole point of the tradition is to connect people to the divine, and there's levels to divinity. The first is finding the divinity within yourself, understanding that who you are as a human, as a person, has an essence of divinity. Understanding who you are, respecting your personality, respecting your gifts, respecting who you are as a person, being true to yourself. Second level would be understanding that you have higher guides and how to express that in your life. And then moving into understanding the deeper powers that run through you. Are you a water person? Are you an electrical person? Are you somebody who's a war person? Do you have war spirits? Do you have spirits that are Indian spirits? Are you a creator of peace? And usually it's not just one, but there's many. Like you have peace spirits, you have war spirits, you have water spirits, you have fire spirits, and how do you balance all those spirits, respecting all the aspects of yourself so that you can become somebody who has a purpose above and beyond the ego.
Would you mind sharing a story of maybe one of the early times you connected with one of these real spirits or guides for you?
Yeah, the first time I did, I was in my training and with Papa, Jung and Hector, and a couple weeks after starting training with him, I had a dream that I was trapped inside of a house. It was a small little wooden house, and there was a war, and there was a massive war outside of the house. And in the dream, I was trapped inside of the house, and there was bombs being thrown all over the place, and we were praying, everybody together, that we would be able to make it through the war. And then there was a nuclear explosion, and I saw the explosion vibrate out and felt the explosion as an outflux of light, and the heat and the light and the electricity, the radiation rolled through my body, into my body, and my whole skeleton lit up, and I could see it in my mind's eye in the dream. My whole skeleton lit up, and the fire of the radiation went through me, and I felt it roll through my body, and it was a very terrifying experience. And then it flooded back through, as radiation does. It floods out and floods back in, and it flooded back through my body and then collapsed itself into the bomb. And I woke up from the dream thinking that I had a bad dream. But after discussing it with him, what he explained to me was, that's good. You're experiencing the first little contact of the current. The current's coming to you, and the spirits are coming to you in your dream and letting you know how the electricity feels in a very, very gentle manner. Of course, the dream itself with the destruction represented the spirits were telling me that we're going to fuck shit up in your life, and we're going to fuck it up good, and you will survive, and you will make it through if you allow the energy to pour through you.
Wow. So what are dreams in Sansei?
The spirits have the easiest way of connecting with us through our dreams. So for us, as we progress in the path, we have more and more vivid dreams of this nature.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This feels like an opening to so many other topics I'd love to discuss with you moving forward. And yeah, we always appreciate you sharing all this knowledge. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Mama Shoshana, and I will talk to you soon.